Welcome back to Plot 27 Recaps. Millie Calloway applies for a job as a housemaid for the wealthy Winchester family. When she arrives at the massive Winchester mansion, she meets Nina Winchester. After looking at her application, Nina is surprised that someone with a college degree would want to work as a maid. Nina gives Millie a tour of the house, and the two head upstairs. It turns out Nina is pregnant, which is why she needs a housemaid, but she asks Millie to keep it a secret because her husband still doesn't know. Millie will be staying in a room located in the attic. Nina says she can play music as loudly as she wants up there without disturbing the family downstairs. On her way home, Millie doubts she'll get the job because everything written on her application was actually a lie. Millie has been homeless and continues applying for other jobs. One morning, two police officers wake her while she's sleeping in her car. After they leave, Nina calls to inform her that she got the job. Excited by the news, Millie immediately heads to the Winchester residence and meets a man repairing the fence named Enzo. After seeing Millie, Nina warmly welcomes her and carries her bags to the attic room. That night, Millie meets Nina's husband and daughter, Andrew and Cece. Soon after, Nina comes out and introduces Millie to them. While bringing up dinner, Millie asks if the attic window can be opened so fresh air can come in. She also requests a lock because the room can only be locked from the outside. Nina then gives Millie a cell phone as a gift. The next morning, Millie panics after oversleeping, but she realizes her bedroom door won't open. After finally breaking the door down, she sees Nina angrily searching for something. Nina says she's looking for her notes, and Millie is confused by Nina's sudden change in attitude. Andrew arrives, but Nina accuses Millie of throwing away her speech notes. Seeing Nina becoming increasingly unstable, Andrew calms her down. After Nina leaves, Andrew assures Millie that everything will be fine. While taking out the trash, Millie meets Enzo again. But Enzo quickly leaves because Nina is watching them through the window. While cleaning the bathroom, Millie discovers a pill inside the toilet. Moments later, Nina arrives and orders her out. That night, Andrew invites Millie to have dinner with him and Cece, but she declines. Andrew later enters Millie's room to give her cake, saying Cece insisted on it. The two almost become involved in a forbidden relationship, but it turns out to be just a dream. Nina eventually gives Millie the key to her room as requested, acting completely different from the day before. Millie plans to take the day off since it's Saturday, but Nina refuses to let her leave. Luckily, Andrew arrives and tells Millie to go enjoy her day off. Millie then visits the Human Social Services office and meets a woman named Pam. It's revealed that Millie is currently on parole. After learning she has a job, Pam warns her to keep it or she'll be sent back to prison to serve the remaining 5 years of her sentence. After meeting Pam, Nina orders Millie to pick up Cece from ballet class. She warns her not to be late, but Millie becomes confused because Nina never tells her where the ballet studio is located. After searching several ballet schools nearby, Millie finally finds Cece class. There, she meets Patrice, the mother of Cece's friend, Emma. Cece says she's staying over at Emma's house and that the sleepover was planned weeks ago. Hearing this, Millie explains that Nina specifically told her to pick Cece up. Patrice calls Nina, and Nina gives permission for Cece to stay over. When Millie returns home, she's confused because Nina insists she already told her about the sleepover. Millie then meets Andrew's mother, Mrs. Winchester. Mrs. Winchester brings one of Andrew's favorite plates because she's moving away. She tells Millie to keep it somewhere safe because Nina might accidentally trip and break it. That night, unable to sleep, Millie goes downstairs to watch TV. Suddenly, Andrew appears and asks her to keep him company. Andrew reveals that Nina's parents died in a fire when she was young. Their conversation ends when Nina arrives and tells Andrew to return to bed. After Andrew leaves, Nina tells Millie to pack her things and leave the next morning. Millie tries explaining that nothing happened between her and Andrew, and Nina eventually gives her another chance. Before Millie returns to her room, Nina warns her to dress appropriately and stay away from her husband. The next day, Nina is spending time with Patrice and her two friends, Suzanne and Jillian. Surprisingly, Nina isn't actually pregnant but is only planning to become pregnant. When Nina leaves to take a phone call, Patrice and the others are shocked because they all believed she was expecting. Millie overhears them gossiping about Nina. Suzanne reveals that Andrew and Nina's prenup is extremely strict. When they got married, Nina had no money at all, and she would have ended up homeless if she hadn't changed her behavior. Millie also learns that Nina once spent 9 months in psychiatric treatment because of her actions. The following Saturday, Nina asks Millie to babysit Cece because she and Andrew have plans in the city. Millie finds Nina's medication and is shocked to discover it's used to treat mental illness. Realizing Nina may have psychological problems, Millie calls her friend to look for another job. Cece overhears and asks if Millie is leaving, but Millie brushes it off. While playing with Cece in her room, Millie discovers her favorite troll doll. Millie tells Cece not to enter her attic room, and together they notice Nina crying. Andrew explains that Nina suffers from premature ovarian failure and is unable to have children. Millie is stunned to learn Cece isn't Andrew's biological daughter, meaning Andrew has lost his dream of having a child with Nina. Nina apologizes for lying about the pregnancy and says she doesn't know how to face Andrew's mother. After giving Millie some of her clothes, Nina asks her to book tickets for a musical called Showdown and reserve a luxury hotel for one night. Nina says Andrew has always wanted to see the show, and she wants to make up for her mistakes. At ballet class, Millie meets Suzanne's maid, Amanda. Millie is horrified when Amanda reveals that Nina once tried to drown Cece in the bathtub. When Cece was a baby, Nina allegedly threw her into a tub filled with running water. Afterward, Nina attempted suicide by swallowing a large number of pills. After returning from ballet class, Millie asks Enzo about the family, but Nina suddenly appears and forbids her from speaking to him. Nina then becomes furious because Millie booked the musical tickets and expensive hotel. Millie is confused because Nina herself requested them. Nina denies ever asking for the reservations and decides to deduct the cost from Millie's salary. Shortly afterward, Andrew arrives and apologizes for his wife's behavior. While Nina takes Cece to ballet camp, Andrew tells Millie to use the tickets with a friend and enjoy herself. But after Millie says she doesn't have any friends, Andrew invites her to go with him instead. Touched by Andrew's kindness, Millie accepts. After watching the musical, Andrew takes her to dinner at an elegant restaurant, and they spend the night at the hotel. Although they stay in separate rooms, their rooms are on the same floor. While in her room, Millie receives countless messages from Nina, who is furious that Millie isn't answering her calls. Afraid she'll be fired, Millie tells Andrew everything. Seeing her panic, Andrew comforts her, and the two end up sleeping together. The next morning, Andrew learns that Nina returned home earlier than expected, and they rush back before she arrives. Back at the house, Nina greets Millie and Andrew as they pretend nothing happened. During dinner, Millie is shocked when Nina reveals that Millie spent 10 years in prison before working there, while Andrew remains silent. Nina then sends Millie shopping using her car. At the supermarket, Millie meets Jillian, who warns her that Nina might have installed a tracker on her phone. Just as Millie is about to leave, 2 police officers suddenly arrest her. She's horrified when they tell her the car was reported stolen. Fortunately, Andrew gets Millie released and drives her home. On the way, Millie apologizes for lying about prison, but Andrew says she doesn't owe him any explanation about her past. Once home, they seize Nina holding the musical brochure. Nina threatens to call the police and accuse Millie of stealing her clothes. Confused by Nina's behavior, Millie watches as Andrew finally throws Nina out of the house. After Nina leaves, Andrew and Millie begin living together as a couple. One morning, Millie is making breakfast when she suddenly sees Enzo outside and accidentally breaks the plate from Andrew's mother. After hearing Millie's explanation, Andrew fires Enzo. Millie gathers the broken pieces into a plastic bag, and later she and Andrew passionately kiss in the attic room. But when Millie wakes up, she realizes Andrew has locked her inside. Instead of feeling devastated after being kicked out, Nina actually feels relieved. After surviving the fire that killed her parents, Nina grew up and earned a scholarship to law school. Her dreams were shattered after a married professor got her pregnant. Nina raised Cece alone while working at Andrew's company. After meeting during a company conference, they fell in love and eventually married. Early in their marriage, Andrew noticed Nina's natural hair roots growing in and becoming visible. He trapped Nina in the attic room and locked her inside. Andrew claimed he was disappointed that Nina wasn't maintaining her appearance, then forced her to pull out 100 strands of hair from her scalp with the roots still attached. While imprisoned in the attic, Nina was given only 3 small bottles of water and a bucket inside the closet to bathe with. With no other choice, Nina obeyed him. Once Andrew finally released her, Nina rushed to see Cece, but she suddenly collapsed after Andrew secretly drugged her drink. Later that night, Nina woke up in terror and saw Cece drowning in the bathtub. It was all staged by Andrew to make Nina appear as though she intended to kill both Cece and herself. After the incident, Nina was sent to a psychiatric hospital. In order to see her daughter again, she was forced to confess to crimes she never committed. Andrew gained a reputation as a devoted husband for staying beside his unstable wife. Wanting to avoid getting pregnant by him, Nina secretly used birth control. She also convinced a doctor to lie and tell Andrew she was infertile. Nina tried telling people the truth, but nobody believed her except the gardener, Enzo. After seeing Nina's suffering, Enzo urges her to run away, but Nina believes it's impossible because Cece remains under Andrew's control. It's eventually revealed that Nina intentionally hired Millie because she knew Millie was exactly Andrew's type. At first, Nina planned to find another beautiful woman to replace her. But after meeting Millie, she came up with a different plan. Enzo begs Nina not to drag Millie into the situation, but Nina insists it's the only way she can finally escape and reunite with Cece. Andrew tells Millie she must be punished for breaking the family heirloom plate. He hands her a shard of broken glass and orders her to cut her stomach 21 times, matching the number of broken pieces. It's then revealed that when Millie was in high school, she killed a student who was assaulting her friend. But during the investigation, her friend denied being assaulted. Millie was sentenced to 15 years in prison and released on parole after serving 10 years. Inside the attic room, Millie discovers a cheese knife Nina secretly hid for her. Just like Nina before her, Millie has no choice but to obey Andrew if she wants to survive. Nina plans to find a new home and live alone with Cece, but Cece insists they should bring Millie with them. When Andrew enters the room, Millie suddenly stabs him with the cheese knife and locks him inside the attic. Millie then demands revenge by forcing Andrew to pull out one of his front teeth using pliers. Because Millie destroys his prized possessions, Andrew is forced to yank out his own tooth, but Millie tells him she'll return the next morning. After hearing Cece's suggestion, Nina secretly returns to the house and sneaks toward the attic room. Believing Millie is trapped inside, Nina unlocks the door. Andrew escapes and attacks both Nina and Millie, but Millie manages to flee. Andrew tries killing Nina after she refuses to start over with him, but Millie suddenly reappears and shoves Andrew over the railing, sending him crashing to the floor below. After Andrew dies, Nina smashes a light bulb beside his body to make it look like a tragic accident, as if he fell while fixing the chandelier. Nina tells Millie to run while she handles everything. During the investigation, a policewoman named Jessica notices inconsistencies in Nina's story. Nina panics when Jessica mentions the stab wound found on Andrew's neck, but she's shocked when Jessica still labels the case an accident. It turns out Jessica's sister was Andrew's first fiancée and suffered a fate similar to Nina's. After Andrew's funeral, Nina is surprised to see Millie there. Millie explains she couldn't run away because she's still on parole. Millie is then stunned when Nina hands her a check for $100,000 to help her start a new life. Later, Millie attends another housekeeping job interview for a woman named Lisa. It turns out Nina recommended Millie because Lisa is also suffering abuse from her husband, bringing the story to an end. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more movie recaps.